Hi, how are you? Good to see you all. I have you muted, but let's see.
Hello. Hi there.
Antoinette, my dear, you are muted. Antoinette, you are muted. Make sure you unmute. You need to unmute on Zoom.
Well, that's because I'm muted.
Got it.
Now can you all hear me?
Yes.
Thank God for Sherry being here. Sherry is here again today. Everybody welcome Miss Sherry. Did you love that beautiful pink lotus flower?
Yes.
Isn't that beautiful? Miss Sherry did that for us.
Oh, lovely.
And the beautiful mantra that you hear right now is her latest release. And isn't it beautiful?
Yes.
Sherry, do you want to say a little bit about that? Just a tiny little bit about your mantra so they know that, because we're going to play that through the whole thing. So we're going to be basked in what this mantra is really about.
Oh, yeah, sure. It's a project I've been working on over the last year.
Ooh,
Just
can't hear you. Can't hear you.
here.
I can hear her. I can hear her.
You can hear?
Your,
I don't know why I can't.
yeah,
Okay.
pause
I
your
don't hear
music.
the music though.
Yeah. Pause the music on your end, Antoinette, because you're not sound sharing right now, so we can't hear
I'm not sound sharing. Okay.
She says to
Says
pause
that
the
I
music
am.
on
Hold
your
on.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says that I am on my end. I don't know. Can you hear the music, you guys?
Very
Just
softly.
Just
Well,
through
that's good because I don't want it to be loud while we're talking anyway. I want that to be lower than our voices. I actually want to hear whatever Sherry's saying. Sherry, can you hear? Can you talk?
I'm talking. Can you hear me,
It's
Antoinette?
still so low.
Okay.
I can
So
we can hear her.
I think everybody
You're
can
all low. I'm obviously doing something wrong because all of you are very low.
pause the music on your
Pause it. Okay, let me pause
Spotify.
the music.
Yeah.
Okay,
There. Can you hear me better now?
so much better.
Yes. So, this is a project I've been working on for the past year. This track just came out yesterday. It's a 30-minute and 3-second, very beautiful, ethereal, spacious, meditative track that brings in the energy of Lakshmi and Ganesha and helps to remove the obstacles toward abundance. And it's also a really beautiful track to practice yoga to melt, to relax, and to bliss. And it's on all the streaming platforms, well, most of them, and then also my website. So I hope you enjoy it during the practice. It's brand new yesterday, new moon, Christmas.
Brandy new.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Thank you.
you're welcome. And so enjoy your beautiful practice with Antoinette.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Miss Sherry, for everything.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mwah. All right, so I think this is our crew. I'm so happy you made it with all that's happening in the world, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I know my son was supposed to be on his way here, arriving around 2, and he just didn't come because of all of, just to be safe, I know it's been an interesting holiday. So this is perfect, to just really come into our own being, and take care of ourselves with all of that's happening around us. So I'm really glad you're here. And so we're going to get started. We're already recording. And do you have everything that I had on that email yesterday? The strap, the blocks. Okay, perfect. So we're going to start in a standing position because it is wake up warm up, but eventually we're going to end up on the grounds, but not for a while, okay? So make yourself comfortable. Hopefully you have something nice and cushy under your feet, like a rug or something like that. So Miss Sherry, I'm going to go back to your music, right? And just turn it back on, right?
Yes, but you
Okay,
need
perfect.
yeah, turn it back on, but you need to sound share on Zoom. So remember, screen share, advanced.
Yeah, I did do that. Hold on. Hold on. So share screen. It says share sound. Computer
Advanced.
audio, that was what it wasn't.
Yes.
Okay. But now it's not letting me share sounds.
Oh, click. And now it's super loud. Turn it
Yeah, I
down.
know. I got to turn it down. Yep,
Perfect.
thank you. All right, perfect. Yeah, I definitely want it to be in the background of my voice, so I'll turn it down even more. Can you still hear it though? Perfect. Okay. So let me put my favorite thing in the world off to the side where that is coming soon. All right, let me get back here. Can you all still hear me? Thumbs up or down? Perfect. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is just give a little body shake, just a little wiggle. Start to feel your feet on the ground and just start to wiggle through your ankles. So your foundation points your feet, then your ankles, then your little calves, little shimmy for the knees, little shimmy for the glutes, the belly. Then let your torso begin to shimmy a little bit more. Now let's start to breathe. Good, beautiful. Let your arms start to shake, your shoulders. Perfect. And then let that go. Just take a moment to just relax your arms. I already got hotter, so that's good. That's a good indication. And all we're going to start to do is look down at your feet and just start to shift your body's weight from left to right. You can either just let your arms hang loosely to your sides, or you can bring your hands to your hips. This helps me a little bit kind of guide the hips. Beautiful. And then bring your hands together, give them a little rub, little warm up, because boy, do we all need to be warmed up. And so we're going to take the hands and we're going to place them underneath the fabric like such, and just hold onto your sacrum for support. And we're going to go into hip circles really, really slow. So as we begin to move our hips, just start to explore them. This is almost like a Big Ben clock. And if you can see, I'm on a circular mat here, because I decided a while ago that I'm no longer a rectangle, right? We're round beings. So imagine you're touching all the numbers of a Big Ben clock. And let's start to add in the breathing, inhaling, exhaling. Definitely recommend to exhale through your mouth for a while, just to get some of that excess stale stuff from the body, the mind, the spirit. Breath flowing in and out. Moving in a way that works for you. And then gently pause in the center and then shift your hips over to the other direction, and let's go this way, which quite often could feel a little bit different. So inhaling and exhaling. Noticing as we begin to move our bodies, what the body speaks to you, how it speaks to you, in sensations and vibrations and temperature, thoughts passing through. And then gently release that motion. Release your arms, let them float down to your sides. Take a moment to just feel the inner world of you. And then from there, I'm going to invite you to bring your hands to your hips. Walk your feet in a little closer, like about hips width apart, and just start to pedal your feet. Just kind of heel ball toe. I don't usually wear socks when I do yoga, but it's so cold. But I can still feel the feet, right? You can still feel them. At some juncture, I might get brave and take them off. So then press into your right foot. I'm going to invite you to look at your right foot, like literally look down, spread the foot out really wide, spread the toe cage out so you can feel all four corners of both feet. This right leg is going to stabilize us while we work on the left side, okay? So step your left foot forward just a bit. Do a couple heel ball toes again. So you've all taken my classes at Kripalu, and sometimes I say the same things, and I'll say, or I'll ask people, what's the first thing that touched the floor when you woke up? And so feet, hopefully. So we got to begin with that foundation, right? So rolling up to the ball of the foot. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to round around the perimeter of the foot. I'm going to look down for a moment, and I'm just going to roll. I'm going to press into the big toe pad with some pressure all the way to the pinky toe side, the outside of the foot, the outer heel, the inner heel, and the inner arch. And so we've got this massage going for this little foot here. Some of our feet, again, might be a little chilly. Let's guide. I'm going to bring my hand here a little bit more into the hip crease and guide the ankle then, the knee, and the hip. Good. So these figurating motions helping to open up the ankle, the knee, and the hip, and the foot, of course, all at the same time. Then release your left arm, and we're going to begin to add a shoulder circle. So rolling from your great toe to your pinky toe, and nice and slow, connecting to the breath. Every breath makes such a big difference to our bodies in this very moment. Inhaling prana into the body, exhaling out tension. And then if you'd like, bring the elbow up and around. Beautiful. And start to notice what your shoulder's saying. Just holding space for it all. And then option 2, extend the arm like a big circle. I'm still trying to go around the perimeter of my left foot. So it isn't that easy to connect all those parts, but we do our best. One more time. And then just let your arms hang down loosely. Take a moment. I'm going to close my eyes so I can really feel what's happening inside. Notice your left foot, your left leg, left side of the body. Notice the right. What are you aware of? What do you notice that might be a little different? I feel like my foot's pressing down a little bit more. I feel some inner lightness in the side, especially in the thigh area. You might feel something different, but just to be aware. All right, so let's do the other side. So now I'm going to look down at my left foot. I'm going to lift the toes, spread the foot out, and really feel that whole toe cage pressing. Then I'm going to step my right foot in just a little bit. I'm going to look down at the right foot and just start to, begin at the foot, from the big toe to the pinky toe, the outside of the foot, the outer heel, the inner heel, and the inner arch. Then I'm going to guide, because this is my old robo hip side. I really need the guidance. So this hand supports the hip joint so we can get a little bit more range of motion. So going from your big toe to your pinky toe, outside of the foot, outer heel, inner heel, breathing in and out. And then when you're ready, release the right arm and begin to add the shoulder circle. Give yourself lots of compassion with all of these movements. We're working with our brain, left side, right side. Go all the way around. I get confused, even though I've been doing these things for many, many years. I still get confused. And that's okay. We do our best. And then let's bring the elbow into play a little bit more if that feels groovy, breathing in and out. Noticing if this side feels different. Beautiful. And then bring that arm into a long extended circle, like we're swimming in a beautiful warm pool somewhere. How's that foot rotation going? Let's do one more. And then release the arm. Let the arm hang for a moment. Shifting your body's weight from foot to foot. And then just come to center for a moment. Noticing what you feel within the body. Within your mind. What's passing through. At the end of our practice today, I'll just give you a little hint. The journal prompts will be about, this process that we're all going through together now, just to being aware of different little things as they come up, maybe a memory or just, it could even be a judgment. It could be a resistance to something. That's all good. And so let's bring our hands back onto our hips, put the weight back into your right foot. I'm going to lift the left heel and I'm going to go from the outer pinky toe to the great toe, internal rotation. And again, using this left hand as a guidance, as a support for the hip. Breathing in and out. Probably even more important to do these foot exercises if you live in a place that's colder, right? Because now we're wearing even heavier shoes. We're wearing shoes more often. So our foot is, getting a little more dense. So these are so good for the circulation of the foot. And then let that left arm go and see if you can do an internal shoulder movement, like a figure eight almost. Beautiful. And the way we move is so unique to us, right? It's so personal how our body moves. And then release that side, release both arms. Take a moment to go inside, to feel, to be aware. Now bring the hands back to the hips. Take a step into the left foot and then take that right foot from the pinky toe. So that's your starting point to the great toe, the inner arch, the inner heel, outer heel. So we get that foot going, and then all those lower kinetic joints are now involved. And then take the right arm if you'd like. I'm going to let the left arm go too, but just figurating this one. Breath in and out. Good. And then let's come to center again. Release the arms. I'm going to close my eyes down, or you can always look wherever you want to look, but just to keep your mind focused, looking at one little thing in front of you. Breathing in and out. Noticing if you might feel a little bit more alert, a little more upright, present, inward. And then we're going to go ahead and release our feet a little wider. I'm going to bring the hands back to the hips. You've probably done these exercises many times. So from the ball of the foot, I'm going to rotate. I'm going to push into the ball of the foot. I just felt my little ankle release just by doing that little bit of more pressure. So then we want to support our ankle, knee, and hip, and all the way through the spine as we go into spinal rotations. I'm going to inhale and exhale. So we are going to release the arms, but just not quite yet. We're just going to get this whole thing going from our tailbone to the crown, full rotation. And now let's let the arms go. Empty coat sleeves, just swinging them around the body. See if you can inhale to one side and expel to the other. This breath is so good to help to release that tension we might be encountering in our spine or any place. Maybe the hips, maybe the knees, maybe the neck. So you're going to get a rhythm going, right, with your breath and your movement. They become one, like a dance, like a partnership. That's the yoking, right, the union of our body, which is this movement happening, the mind paying attention to the sensations arising, and the breath is the bridge that connects those two. I've been looking at the clock. It hasn't even been a minute, and so another name of this exercise is called 3 Minutes to Better Health. It's not easy to do a full 3 minutes. Let's see if we can do just one more minute. As long as we're breathing, then our body relaxes even more. And now for the next few seconds, let's take one arm up and around, wrap it around your upper back, and just give yourself a pat on the back. And the other arm taps the body. I'm going to still try to look all the way behind me. If you get dizzy, of course, bring your head center. And then from here, lower waist. Just sending energy into the organs. This is so good for our digestive health. Beautiful. Keep going a little bit longer. And then let's slow it down. Keep the arms going if you would. Just turn your whole body center and just let the arms keep going, tapping the body. And then let that come to stillness nice and slow. Let the arms just slowly, organically come to stillness at your sides. And let's take a little inward look here, just being aware. That was a lot of energy we just moved. So matter of fact, let's place our right hand onto our belly and our left hand to the heart. And just start to notice your breathing here. Notice if you can deepen the inhale into your abdomen. Let it expand. Let it expose itself. Big, big Buddha breath, belly. And then feel your heart lifting, and then release the air. And then slowly float your arms down like feathers. Just let them float on down right to the sides of the body. Beautiful. And now we're just going to start to, from where we are, bend our knees and lengthen the legs. I'm always humbled by this movement. You know, I can do all these warriors and all these things, but when I do something this simple, I feel so much in the calves, the release of the ankles, the knees, a little quad release there. Beautiful. And then have a soft knee, like you're sitting down almost into like a high chair. We're going to gather some energy from the earth in front of us. I'm going to try to keep my torso as lifted as I can and just gather with the arms, gathering the earth energy, joining it with your own energy right up into the heart. And then a big exhale, giving it all back away to the world. Keeping a soft bend in the knees. Inhale, arms over the head. I'm going to look up to the hands and imagine there's a big giant beach ball underneath my hands, and I'm just going to very slowly push it underneath the surface of the water right in front of my vision, just clearing things out. As the hands go in front of the pelvic floor, just do a little sweep out. Inhale, gather, nice soft bend in your knees. Take as much time as you need to. Feel everything along the way. Inhale, drawing the energy from the earth. And then exhale from your heart, clearing the heart space. Inhale, gather from around you and above you, from the atmosphere above the building. And then see if you can exhale through your nostrils. And very often it takes me 2 breaths to get to the very bottom when I'm not talking. So all the way down. Sweep the front of the pelvic away a little bit. Give it a little clearing there. And then a few more. Inhale, gather energy. Soften through the knees. Exhale. Beautiful. Like you're hugging the moon here. Nice big rounded arms. And then exhale slowly, slowly, slowly. See if you can follow your breath the whole way down in front of your body. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, gather energy. Exhale, clear the heart. You can move at your own pace. Inhale, lift the energy up over your crown chakra. And then exhale, clear all the way down. And last time. And this very last time, I'm going to invite you to come into mountain pose, a soft mountain with your shoulders relaxed, perhaps the eyes closed down. So much more important to feel than it is to see these movements. Seeing them, but then feeling that reverberation after is so important. Because for me, that's why I continue to do the movements, because I feel so different. I feel so much more expansive and light inside, coming from more of a dense place into a more spacious place within. And then releasing the arms alongside you. Taking your feet about shoulders width apart, maybe even a little bit wider, just so you feel your feet again. We're just going to rock the body's weight from side to side. We're going to go back into the rotation of the spine. So I'm going to bring my hands to the hips, and I'm going to push against the ball of that one foot, elevating the opposite heel. And then I'm going to take my right hand to my waistline and take the left arm into a figurating motion. So your left arm, I'm going to look at it a little bit, see where it's going here. As the arm goes across your body, the palm faces down. As the arm goes away from the body, the palm faces up. So we're working with the shoulder, the internal rotation and external for the shoulder. And then just see if you can start to smooth this movement out with your breathing. Inhaling, exhaling. Noticing what this arm that's working the back of the shoulder and shoulder blade, if you can feel that opening there. Trying to get a beautiful continual loop happening. Let's do a couple more. Then as you release to the center, put that hand on your hip. Let your other arm, for most of us, it's the right arm. And we're just going to figure eight again. Of course, I'm your mirror, so I'm actually with the other arm. So keeping your body nice and tall here. Beautiful, nice and slow. So we stay in integrity of the body as it speaks to us, so we don't bounce past what it needs. We will speed things up in a little while, but we're still in that earlier stage here of warming up. And then let that arm go and imagine you have an oar or a paddle in your hands. So look at your hands and just imagine that you're paddling a canoe or kayak, paddleboard, whatever you like, side to side. And then this gives the opportunity to get that full wonderful figure eight loop. So I'm going to take that back arm and I'm going to see if I can loop it all the way to the other side without a break. Without a break in the loop. And then we're going to start to slow it down. I'm going to invite you to keep the arms moving in a figure eight right in front of your vision. Imagine you have like a big ball of beautiful energy just in between your hands. Just drawing some figure eights with that energy. And then inhale, lift that energy right over your head. And then exhale, let the arms float down like feathers. So softening from the shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers. Let's take our few moments here to integrate all those things that we just did. And if you ever want to come back, belly and chest, I do this a lot because then I get that real physical connection to my breathing. So that's why I come here a lot to these two places. So where the hands touch, the mind is paying attention to that area. Deeply breathe. And then release the arms alongside. Let's give the whole body a nice little shake out. Let's just cleanse it all out. And so this next little series that I do, I just love it. It's more for the shoulders, but of course it involves the whole torso. So it's just sort of what we've been doing, but just as a little choreographed thing. So I do shoulder roll, elbow, elbow, arm, arm, shoulder, shoulder, elbow, elbow, long arm. And then I just start to roll with it. I might close my eyes and just let some time go by. Just get into that flow. And it's okay if things get confused. If you're like, wait, am I on the shoulder roll, the elbow, or the long arm? It's all good. And hopefully you can see my torso is going along the way for the ride. Hopefully you don't have anything above your head. Like I have a crystal. I've hit it a couple times. Couple more. Looking good out there. Woo! Dancing now. So some of you, maybe I met in yoga dance, maybe not. But this is something I like to do in there too. When I'm dancing, if you will, I'll just do these things, with music and just really get a lot out of it. A lot of release. Beautiful. And then release that as we do. Let's take an integrative breath or two. Feel what you feel inside your body. Beautiful. I feel like I should be pinned here. Okay, now I can see me. All right. I can see all of you too. So here we go. Now we're going to go into this side rotation, right? So I always say this, that we don't really have to rotate very much anymore, right? Everything is like face forward, eyes forward. The screen's in the front of our cars. We don't have to do what we used to do when I was growing up, which is to rotate, right? So we're going to work with that here. So I'm going to take a nice comfortable stance with my feet, a little bend of the knees, relax. And we're going to take our left arm first. It's going to come right in front of us, up over our heads. I'm going to glance up. and then take it all the way behind as I look all the way behind. So again, where the eyes go, the body's going to follow. Breath flowing in and out. And again, the whole body is rotating with the arm. So the arm's coming in front, up, around, and back. And again, this gives you an opportunity, because we do quite a few of them, to start to smooth things out. Excellent. And then gently pause. Take the left arm behind you as you look towards it, up above you and all the way in front. How's that breathing? And then come back to the center if you would, and take this left arm and just swing it fore and aft, just a really loose swing. Beautiful. I always like to say being loosey-goosey is an art. We are not taught how to be loose and relaxed, right? So these movements help us to kind of let go of the mind a little bit and just let the body freely move. Now we're going to warm up our triceps by folding at the elbow, and let yourself be tapped again on the upper back. Give yourself another pat on the back. Just a couple more. Beautiful. And let this left arm play itself out into stillness. And then maybe close your eyes and just take a little inventory, that shoulder, arm, and then go over to the other side and notice if there is any difference at all. And what you're aware of, like again, the sensations, the vibrations, change of temperature, inner spaciousness, anything like that, heavier on the outside. Sometimes I feel like my arm that I just worked is a little bit heavier on the outside, but lighter somehow inside. So we're going to do the other side. So I'm going to press into the feet, take the right arm in front, up and all the way around. Deep breaths in, exhale. So again, little reminder that this side could be completely different or slightly different. So it really is that moment by moment focus, breath by breath awareness, giving this side just as much attention, just as much permission to let go. So feeling your whole trunk rotate. Beautiful. Let's do two more. Looking great out there. And then gently pause, let the arms swing forward, and then take it back up and all the way around. So interesting working one side of the body at a time, isn't it? Because then you start to realize like, ooh, like I'm noticing that this shoulder is tighter than my other shoulder. There's some more gumminess, I like to call. One more time. And then come center and let this right arm swing forward and aft. And then let the arm come up, bend at the elbow, give yourself another pat on the back, several of them. Great job, just showing up here for you in all the ways that you do in your daily life. This is just one of many, right? Woo, feeling this. Couple more. Beautiful, and let that come to stillness. Let the arms play that movement out naturally. Take this moment again to be aware of that side. And then bring your attention back to the left shoulder and notice if there might be a little more evenness and balance in the weight of the shoulders, the way they feel from the inside. And then from here, we're going to work our wrists a little bit. So with your hands down, just start to swirl them. Keep a little softness in the knees. And just start to explore these amazing wrist, hands, and fingers. I love moving my hands and fingers because there's so much in there. Like the thumb joints, right? All the finger joints. And then slowly begin to elevate your arms out to the sides. And then the shoulders are going to start to get involved, right? So you can see how my shoulders are coming forward and then back. And then see if you can go all the way up over your head to wherever is comfortable. Still keeping those wrist fingers moving. And then back down, shoulders level. Your hands are going, oh my goodness, because mine are. They're like, you're giving me a workout. And then stretch, and then start to fold at the elbows, combing the air through your opened fingers. So there's lots of space. And let's breathe. You can play around with, how big these circles are. They can get really big, or they can be a little smaller. They can be everything in between. This is all about self-discovery, deeper inside of the joints now. And then I'm going to flip them out a couple times and just let them float on down. Take this moment to breathe a little deeper. Beautiful. So now we're going to work with, I love working with the upper body a lot. We're going to stay with it a little longer. Then we're going to go into the lower body, which I always find is more challenging, really, for me anyway, because it involves some more balance. So we'll do that in a bit. So I'm going to center myself, grounding through the feet. And I'm going to take my left arm forward, up, and back. So it's going backwards, essentially. Some of you have done this with me before. And then guess what the right arm's going to do? Forwards. So I'm coming back with the left arm and forwards with the right arm. It doesn't matter what it turns out to be. It's just about the trying. We're working with our brain here a little bit. And then I'm going to press into my left foot and see if I can just lift the leg. I don't know why, but it just feels really good to do this. You don't have to lift the leg, of course. It's just a little bit more, little challenge. Beautiful. And then put the foot down, hinge forward, looking down, and let your arms freely swing in front of you. I don't always recommend flexing because we do so much of that, but this is from my first yoga teacher, Vietnamese monk master he was, Master Adam, and this was his series. This was a part of his series that he taught me, and I loved this part because he'd work us so well that we'd need this little release. And then come back up to center. Again, let the arms play themselves out. Whew. Feel what you feel, be aware. Deeply breathe. So I always like to say that our yoga practice could be like life. We work our body a little bit and then we do a little rest. So let's release the arms. Now we're going to take the right arm forward. Now, more than likely, this side is going to feel different. It usually does. All right, got this arm going. What's the left arm going to do? Backwards. Whee! Sometimes the arm wants to fold at the elbow. That's very common. So now I'm going to add that little challenge. I'm going to come up to the ball of the right foot and lift that leg. And keep the arms going. The arms are the main part of this. Breathing in and out. It's interesting to see myself on the screen because I can see a little bit more of the imbalance here, which is a good thing. It empowers me to notice that. And then I'm going to put the foot down, and here we go. We're going to hinge forward and let those arms swing. You can let your chin drop toward your chest. Breath flowing in and out. And then gradually come upright. Let the arms come to stillness again. Take a moment to feel, because that was a lot for those shoulders. And so now I'm going to turn to the side, or actually I'll turn backwards so you can see what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing this, just tapping the upper back. And as I tap the upper back, I'm just going to do a little bit of an upper chest lift and a little chin lift so I can get that balance, that extension, because we've been doing some flexing, right? And most of life is flexing forward. So here we are. Now I'm going to add a little heel lift as I come up. So I'm lifting my heels, see if you can see here, lifting and releasing. And it is very common to lose balance. Let's add our breathing. Definitely time now, the season to ski. So we're going to add a little skier squat. I'm going to come down onto the full foot like that, swing the arms back, and then push off into the ball of the foot as I come back up into that first move, that extension. Deeply breathe. Because when we don't breathe, what happens is we become anaerobic, right? Which means no oxygen. So we want to keep that breath flowing. That gives us the energy. Let's just do a couple more. And then come up to standing. Woo. Let the arms rest down to your sides, or I'm going to come here because I want to feel my heart beating. I want to deepen the breath because that was a little bit aerobic. So I want to add some more oxygen. I see something in the chat, so I'm just going to check it out. Missed the intro about Sherry, but we'll be here to rewatch. Nice. Beautiful. Good. Okay, so now let your arms come down. Hopefully this doesn't sound too terrible around the mic, but this is the movement. So we take the arms like this, we cross, and then tap or clap. Some people might be able to tap the finger pads, some might be able to feel the whole hand tap, some won't feel that at all. See if we can alternate the lead arm. So I'm going left arm, right arm, alternating that. Whew. I feel like as the hands come back, this is an essential thing in the winter time. All right, now we're going to put those two worlds together, okay? The overhead squat for 2, stand up, cross the arms for 2. And just find your own rhythm here using your breath. So here we go. Inhale up. So every time I lift, I'm lifting those heels, and then I drop them into the skier squat and then come up with the feet flat and cross. Let's just do a couple more. Last time. Woo. And again, let your arms come down to stillness. Whew. And I'm going to come back here because I want to feel again, got the heart rate up a little bit. I want to deepen my breath. Okay, so now we're going to go into the lower body. We're going to come back and use the strap a little bit later, but let's go into our lower body because we've obviously been doing a lot for the upper body. So I'm going to start with my hands on my hips, and I'm going to again rock the weight, not just for the hips, but what I do when I do this is I want to find my feet again, right? I want to open up the feet because we're going to be using the feet for balance here in a moment, both of them, one at a time. So I'm going to bring my body's weight into the right foot. I've got this nice line, ear, shoulder, hip, over the knee and ankle. I'm going to step my left foot in because I don't want to lean too much. I want to keep this nice and aligned. And just roll again, heel ball toe on your left foot a few times. And then I'm going to invite you to peel and place and then rock back. So you're going to peel the foot. I'm going to do a little point and then I'm going to rock back into the foot. So peel the whole foot, lift, and then lower. If you can hear my bone music. And then we're going to lift the leg. I'm going to bring my hand to my knee for support. I'm going to guide it out to the left and bring it over the pelvic. Just a few of these. Open, So this is where that right foot needs to be really stable. It's okay if we come in and out of these things a million times. So that's all a part of our practicing. And then I'm going to let the leg go. We're going to do a couple circles. I'm losing my balance, and that's okay. So I'm going to use my hands and arms. When I lose my balance, my arms want to come out here to stabilize me. So we can do that. Breathing in and out. Just breathing into this hip rotation. A couple more. And then pause. I'm going to lift the knee out, come across the pelvic and down. I call these Jane Fonda circles. And then I'm going to lift the leg and hold it, and then it's a relief. So I've got my hands now interlaced around the hamstring. I'm going to spin the right foot heavily around the ankle as I breathe into it. And then reversing the ankle rotation. So imagine the foot is like a big heavy sinker sinking off a fishing line, sinking deep into the water. And then from here, start to do this little swish from side to side with your lower leg. Let's bring some energy into the knee and then begin circling the lower leg around a few times. And then the other direction. And then extend as you push the heel out and let the leg do what I call the flippity flop. Release. Know your right leg is probably, when are we going to be done? Just a couple more. And then we're going to step the left foot behind the right. Just a narrow lunge, not a warrior lunge, but like a narrow lunge. And then we're going to bend into the left knee. You're going to feel a lot on your outer hip here. And we're just going to lift. Just like straight up and down. Just lower a little bit and lift. And lower and lift. And now, as we lift, I'm going to come up onto the back big toe and just stretch the arms right overhead in the front. And then on exhale, I'm going to lean into the left foot. I'm going to flip my right toes up and put my hands on my left thigh. Then I'm going to push my right toes down and up a few times, feeling that whole foot broaden and widen. And then again, inhale, reach up, bend into that right knee a little bit, lengthen the left leg behind you. It's very similar to Shalabhasana. And one more time, lean into that left foot, float those right toes up in a flex position, hands pressing into your left thigh. Now, look at your right foot. You can see mine. I'm turning the big toe from the left corner to the right corner. And as I turn the foot externally, you're going to feel this inner line of right leg. It's going to reach my right hand towards the ankle and then come up a couple times. It's kind of sliding the hand towards the ankle and then slide maybe towards the back of the knee. And then come all the way up, return the hand to the thigh, push your right foot down. One more time, lift, lengthen, extend. So the arms are up, the left leg is coming back. And then release the arms, step your left foot in, shifting the body's weight side to side. Little relief there. Whew. And then I'm going to step into the left foot. I'm going to look down, spread the toes out nice and wide. Make sure that my ear is above the shoulder, shoulder above the hip, the knee and the ankle. Step the right foot in. I'm going to return my hands to the hips and just roll. Heel ball toe, preparing this right side. And then like you're peeling a piece of tape from the carpet, we're just going to peel, point through the toes, and then lean back into the heel. It's like you're peeling, you're leaning back. Let's do two more. And then lift the leg. I'm going to grab the knee to support it and bring it out to the shoulder and across. Beautiful. And then bring it out and then let it come down. Sweep it right through the center. And then again, if you need to use your arms in any way to find balance, please do so. Most importantly is the breathing. And then as the knee comes out, bring it across to the right and then down. So just a standing hip circle is all.
Here and now, before earth and sky,
Oh,
we stand.
we don't want that song. That song's absolutely
We
beautiful,
feel
but
the blessing of your infinite love in our bones.
That's better. Sorry, guys. I don't want to make anybody cry here. Okay. Beautiful prayer, though. So let's take our hands underneath the hamstring. Drop the shoulders, bring the elbows in, swirl the foot around the ankle as you breathe. And then reversing. And then just shift that lower right leg. And this shows a lot, right? If the knee is a little bit restricted or the hip, and then circle. So this is my robo hip side, very different than my right, but it's doing okay because I do these exercises often. Sitting in a chair and chair yoga, standing. So go the other way and then extend, push through the heel, and then release that little flippity flop maneuver at the bottom there. One more time. And then we're going to step the right foot back. So just a little short step back behind you. And then we're just going to bend into the right knee. Let the knee come straight down under the hip and then lengthen. And just let the arms relax. Feel your entire left foot grounding you. All right, now inhale, reaching up through the arms, come up onto the back big toe. And then as you exhale, put the weight into that right foot, flip your left toes up, bring your hands to your thigh on the right side, extending. And then from here, come back up, press into that foot again. Inhale, reach, come onto the back big toe, feel that whole length. And we're working on this cross body here from left to right, and then come back. And then from here, look at your left big toe and just turn it towards the left corner and towards the right corner a few times. And then turn it out externally. I'm going to take my left hand and reach towards the ankle and then slide up to the knee. So I'm just getting a little more stretch. Reaching towards the inner ankle and then sliding the hand up. Turn the toes center. I'm going to return the hand on the thigh, and then again, inhale, reach up, lengthen through the right leg. Big, big breath in, and then exhale, bring that right foot back. Lower the arms. Shift the weight a couple times if you would. Come back inside. Feel. Deep, deep breaths. Can you feel your belly responding to your inhalation? Is there a fullness, spaciousness? And then releasing the arms alongside, a little shake out of the arms. So now I wish I could take you around my room. I don't think you can see it, but I have two machines, and I often tell people that I've been using them for a long time. One is called a chi machine. One is kind of an aerobic exerciser machine, but the whole point is the same, to vibrate the body. So what we're going to do is we're going to be our own chi machine, our own shaky machine. So I'm going to take my weight and I'm going to put it all the way into that right foot. And I'm going to lift the left leg and I'm just going to start to shake it. It's not supposed to look attractive. It's just about loosening, right? The hip girdle, the thigh, back of the leg, the ankle, the foot, breathing in and out. I won't tell the joke I usually tell with Bella in the room. Like I have do you have a dog that you haven't potty trained yet? Or my 13-year-old who still has accidents, but I still love her. It's like you just picked something up on your foot, right? And you're trying to shake it off. So just a little longer. And then put that foot down. I'm going to bring the weight centered, close down the eyes. Wow, I feel that. I hope you do too, that release of the hip and that energy just streaming down the leg. Okay, so let's prepare for the other side. So step all the weight into your left foot. I feel the whole foot grounding because of course it puts a lot of pressure on this side. So the more I put that weight into the whole foot, the less I put the pressure into the joints. And I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to take my right leg, which is really my left leg, and shake it from the hip all the way down. I let go a long time ago of what things look like to other people because it's just feels better to not care, just to move my body in ways that, help. And shaking is one of the best ways to help our bodies. So Big fan of it. So shake, shake, shake a little longer. Notice if this side is, tighter or, similar, looser. All right, let's put that right foot down, shift your body's weight. Okay, here we are again. I feel, so much better in that lower body. Now, we're going to go into the upper body in a moment, but what I would love for you to do is shake your whole center of your body. So the glutes, belly, it's a little vibration. The vibration actually starts at the feet, and then it starts to move all the way up. Let your torso start to move. Let your arms begin to go. I'm going to try to keep us on the clock for 1 single minute, okay? It's 12:55, and then we've already been into this 55, so I'm going to wait till 57. So just so you get a chance to really get into this. You can close your eyes, let your head turn from side to side, feel your neck releasing, your hands, wrists, shoulders can get involved, your arms. I think I hear Sherry's song coming back. Maybe. Keep going. It's only 12:56, so let's get to 57. Remember, it's not during this movement that we feel the difference. It's afterwards. Do you ever notice that time slows down when you're exercising? It really does, because it's still 12:56. A little longer. I'm going to move my arms out a little bit more, make some more release there. Maybe I don't hear her song. Still 12:56. How could that even be true, right? A little longer. Woo! You guys, I think my clock's broken. There it is. And then release your arms. Oh my gosh. I'm going to take my right hand to my belly, my left hand to my heart. I want to feel this. I want to relish this energy that I let go of, that I released into. Deep, deep breaths. I've got sweat coming down from underneath my arms. That is success. And then just let your arms float down alongside you. And then we're going to shift our weight to the right foot. And we're just going to work the shoulder and the arm, which is going to be a lot easier than what we just did. So just, I'm going to lean over so I can get maximum weight of the arm. And just shake, 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 shake it so that you're rotating it in and out a little bit. And then come to center, let the arm relax. Notice what you feel. And then I'm going to step the weight into the left foot. I'm going to lean into the right arm. So I got these new wind chimes that I got from Kripalu. And they're so beautiful. And that's what I thought Sherry's song was, because I'm not used to them. And they sound like the beginning of her song. So shake, shake, shake this arm, shoulder all the way down. Breathing in and out. Again, notice if this arm might be a little bit easier to work with or not. No judgment, just observation. And then come to stillness in the center. I feel some tingles in my fingers that I didn't feel before. And so let's go ahead and bring our hands in front of us and just imagine you have soap in your hands and just start to rub your hands. Take your left hand to your right wrist and just kind of squeeze it. And, I'm just kind of giving a little twist, a gentle twist. And then I'm going to take my thumb. I'm going to literally take my fingers, and I'm actually on the right side. So I'm going to take my left fingers and I'm going to pull into the joint of the finger like that and pull out. Yeah. and then forefinger. A few times is always great. I do this every single day, many times a day, but I love to do it right out of the shower when the skin is nice and warm and moist. And you put your nice lotion on, right? And this is a great time to do a self massage. And then the middle finger, I'm actually looking down at it, telling it how much I need it, appreciate it. Not just because it's the middle finger, but need all your fingers. And then ring finger. And then the pinky. And then just take a moment, relax your arms down, bring your attention to your right hand, to your right wrist, and then to your left. Good job. And then let's do the other side. I'm going to take my watch off. And again, we're just like little twist. So warming up every joint, you know, as much as we can, so super helpful, because every single thing on our body do we use every single day. And the hands get a lot of usage. So again, I'm going to go into the thumb, the joint, and just gently pull out all the way a few times, and then going to the forefinger. Middle, ring, and the pinky finger. And then just float the hands down to your sides. Breathing in and out. Now I'm going to invite you to pick up your strap. Are you hot, honey bunny? Take your sweater off. Take this one off. So taking your strap, hopefully that we have, and we're going to use it in front of the body. So I'm going to take the hands, pull the strap apart, and align the wrist with the elbow with the shoulder on both sides. Drop the shoulders down, but then we're going to lift them up and then drop. Adding breath. So noticing the difference. Lifted and lowered. And then keep them lowered, and then just start to pull the strap apart between your hands. I'm going to again get a little mobility in the lower body, bending and extending the legs. And then from here, I'm going to look at my left hand. So I'm looking at my left hand. Keep the shoulders pressing down. Inhale. And we're going to start to rotate and radiate the navel towards the left. And then the lower ribs will follow, the upper chest, the shoulders. We'll try not to bend the opposite arm to rotate. We're just going to go as far as we feel comfortable, looking at our left hand the entire time. And then keep pulling the strap apart between your hands. Keep your eyes on the left hand until you get to the center. Look at the right hand. Inhale. And again, rotate and radiate navel toward inner right leg, lower ribs, upper chest, shoulder. Keep the tension between the hands, looking as far to the right as you can. Just going to go one more time. So I'm going to keep looking at the right hand as it comes back. This is from Alexander Technique. I'm looking at my left hand. Take a deep breath. And again, begin at the navel. The head always wants to be the first, so I'm just going to invite it to be the last thing that turns. Noticing on this time if there might be a little bit more ability to rotate. Keep looking at your left hand as you return to center. Extend your vision to the right hand. And then exhale slowly to the right. Relax both shoulders down. Keeping your eyes on that right hand until you return to the center. I know the shoulders are probably going, wow. So let's let the arms go. And then we're going to do a Kundalini warm-up called the shoulder lift and drop. So we lift the shoulders, we can just slacken the strap and then let them drop down. We're going to find a rhythm. So a little bounce at the bottom. Lots of breath. A few more. And then inhale, lift them, and exhale, drop them down. I'm going to pull the strap apart right in front of the thighs. I'm even going to touch the strap to the top of the thighs. Use it as a little tractioning device as I drop the left ear towards the shoulder, drop the chin towards the sternum, right ear to right shoulder, and just float the head above the line of shoulders to the left side very slowly. I know that our necks can be very, very tender sometimes. So breathing through the whole circle. My dog's hot. Poor baby. Bring it down a little bit. And then pause. Left ear towards left shoulder. Drop the chin towards the sternum. Go to the right. And again, I always tell folks that I feel it's a little bit more safe to not roll the head behind the line of the neck, to actually just float it right above the line of the neck or the line of the shoulders, so that we're not tipping it back too much. And then come back to the center. From here, looking down, we're going to lift our strap about shoulders level. And I hope that we all have a nice long strap, so that when we begin to slowly elevate, I'm going to start to slide my hands wider, because my shoulders are going to need that much more release to begin to bring the strap behind the back. So really taking care of your shoulders here. I'm going to keep that softness in my lower body. Bring the strap up and around. We'll start with the head center for a few more, and then we'll go ahead and add the neck. So for now, just inhale up and over. Try to keep that tautness between your hands. You see how the strap is not slackening. That keeps the shoulders balanced with their range of motion. So if it's too narrow, I'll show you what that looks like. It'll kind of look like this. So we want to keep this nice balance. Now, as the strap comes up into your mid back, I'm going to invite you to look up. And then as you come forward, round the upper back, pull your navel and look all the way down. Keep pulling the strap apart between your hands, keeping that tautness. Inhale, lift, extend, open up your whole upper back here. And then exhale, curl the upper back, pull the navel in, tap your thighs or your belly, wherever the strap lands. Let's do 2 more of these. Inhale, lift, extend, expand, heart, chest, and lungs, the shoulders. And then round. And then last time, we're going to linger the strap mid-shoulder blade wing. I'm going to take a little bit of a wider stance. I'm going to pull the strap apart, and I'm just going to rotate the whole torso from side to side. Again, thinking about this rotation from your navel, the center of the body. And then we kind of move from that central place all the way up to the spine. Now this exercise I call the matrix. So if you saw the first Matrix, I haven't seen the second one because I want to remember Keanu Reeves as he once was. He's still a beautiful man, but I just really love that first movie. So I'm going to keep pulling the strap apart. I'm going to bend the knees and fold the torso about parallel to the floor. And I'm going to explore this whole range of motion. So I'm going to keep pulling the strap apart. If you need to narrow your hands a little bit to keep that tautness, that's important. And then up and over, just like those wonderful characters moved, being able to kind of move out of the way of any obstacle here. And then as you come up, I'm going to invite you to pause. Hopefully you don't have a buckle on the end of yours. We don't want those buckles to hit our eyes. Go all the way around. And then as you come up, my friends, please just drop the strap behind you. Let your arms recoil forward. Let your hands rest when you're ready. I'm going to go inside. I'm going to close my eyes. I want to feel the shoulders, the chest area, the posture. Notice your posture, how it feels to be standing in your body right now. What are you aware of? What are some of the inner qualities, messages, information from your body? Again, I feel much more spacious. I feel like I grew an inch or 2, which wouldn't be a bad thing. I feel that my outer body is heavier, but in a very relaxed and even activated way. Like I'm not ready for a nap, that's for sure. Now from here, we're gonna have our strap handy. I'm gonna lower my screen and we're gonna head on down. So this is where I'm gonna invite you to bring your blocks into play. You can place them right down in front of you like such. And I put my hands on them to lower. Let me turn this way. Just gonna roll my back foot under like that, and then bring the knee down, followed by the other. And then from here, I'm gonna turn my blocks down to the medium level and just gently press into the blocks and scoot your hips towards your heels. Lowering your forehead between the inner upper arms, hands on the blocks to give us a little advantage here. The floor comes a little higher to us. Take a deep breath in and then exhale. And then when you're ready, then you can bring your hands all the way to the floor in front of you. Maybe even bend the elbows, bringing the forearms to the ground, and let the weight of your head completely surrender. So one of the ways that I ground myself in the morning are prostrations, and I do them in many of my classes that I teach at Kripalu and beyond. So I'm gonna do that with you all. So from this Balasana, child's posture, we round our spine. This is called high cat tuck. I'm separating my feet so that the tops are pressing. I'm gonna round the spine until the shoulders are directly above my wrist. Then I'm gonna bend my elbows a couple times, just get some mobility in the elbows, and then point the elbows towards the thighs as we carefully roll over our knees, quads, pelvic bowl, belly, ribs, chest. Bring your head all the way down. I'm not going to be able to do it because I heard that when I do that, I get a little muffled. So from where you are, tuck your chin and look forward as if you're just looking to the front of your mat. Press your hands beneath your shoulders. Peel away so the arms begin to lengthen. We peel our chest, ribs, belly off the floor, and then come back into child's pose. I use the heels of the hands to push my hips back just a little bit more, give it a little assist. And then when you're ready, again, we'll inhale, round the spine until the shoulders are above the wrists. Bend the elbows. Let the inner eyes of your arms slide against your ribs to support your spinal wave all the way down. Lowering all the way down. Tuck your chin deeply towards your chest. I always use this example. You have a marble in front of you. It's a little marble. Give it a little scoot with the tip of the nose. This brings your vision forward, and it brings the curve of your neck back into where it needs to be. And then push away from the floor. Hands beneath shoulders, press all the way back. Feel that little release. Feel the heels of your hands pressing into the floor and pushing forward a little. And again, inhale, rounding the spine. Shoulders are above your wrist, elbows bend. Inner arms sweep the ribs. And as I come down, I actually use my hands, my heels of my hands to pull. So I'm stretching the spine all the way down. And then the chin tucks, push that little imaginary marble forward with the tip of your nose. Push away from your hands. Peel all the way up. And then I'm going to invite you to do a few more as I come. Take a little peek. Just to see your flows. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, remembering that marble. It looks great. This is one of those things I just love so much. It's one of my favorite moves. Now, the next time, and take your time to get there, that you're all the way down prone on your belly, I invite you to bring your hands in front of your forehead and just rest your forehead on your hands. Take a few moments here to arrive, the front body heavy on the floor. And then from here, if you can see what I'm doing, I'm just going to start to wiggle the hips. Just start at the hips. Just start to wiggle them, release them like they're, in a hammock. Or there's a technique called Traeger technique where the practitioner takes their hands to the sides of your body and they just start to do this wiggling. It's releasing here. So wiggling. And then I'm going to come up over the tippy toes of the feet and I'm going to let my heels start to go from side to side. Working now through the ankles and the feet. Head is still relaxed. If you need to look at me, please feel free. But at some point, see if you can just let the head go. And then hang out on one side so your heels, it's almost like windshield wiper for your feet. So your heels are over to one side. You're going to feel the outside hip lifting just a bit. Come up over the tiptoes. Let's go to the other side and linger there for a moment. Come back up onto the tiptoes. And then from here, I'm going to bend my knees and bring my shin bones perpendicular to the floor and just roll the feet around the ankles, breathing in and out. And then reversing. Then we're going to do the same thing that we did with our feet and ankles. We're just going to let the whole lower leg now shift from side to side, windshield wipering. And then again, lingering over to one side. Now you're going to feel more of that outer hip lifting. Bring your awareness there. Take a deep breath, filling that space in the front of the hip with your attention, with your deeper breath. And then go across the knees and thighs. Go to the other side. Linger there for a few breaths. Now, from this direction, we're just going to let our toes come down to the floor. Let them sweep. So imagine you could sweep your toenails against the floor. And we're just essentially making circles around the knees with the lower legs. Breathing in and out. And then gently pause, go the other direction. The hips are still getting some attention here, aren't they? The hips are still moving. The knees are getting a lot of love. Taking all the pressure off our spine here on our bellies. Super good for digestion to press the belly into the floor like this. Really great for lower back tension. And then from here, stand your feet flexed towards the ceiling, like you want to put your footprint there on the ceiling, and then point, flex, and point a few times. And now from where we are, we're just going to scoot our knees out. So I'm going to take my right knee and I'm going to scoot it out a bit, and then left knee. And then I'm going to bring the soles of feet to touch. And I'm going to rub the bottoms of the feet together. In a perfect world, I would not have socks on doing this because we're awakening the receptors on our feet. But I'm swishing them together. They're so happy. They really missed each other. And then press your feet together like you have namaste. Now, what this does for me is it brings all of my attention to the inner hip creases, both of them. And I can feel that space there. I can feel the resistance. And I'm just going to take a few cycles of breath here. Nothing to do but breathe. Head is fully relaxed on your hands, or if you got your head on the floor, beautiful. Whatever feels most comfortable for your neck and head. And breathe in and out. And then slide your legs parallel together. This will let the feet release, and just lower your legs, lower the lower legs. And as they do so, I'm going to invite you to now turn one cheek and just rest your head completely. And take these few moments and few integrative breaths to be aware of your lower body, front of your hips, the weight of your legs. Now from here, we're going to slide our legs together till the inner legs are touching, and then untuck your toes. Cross your left ankle over your right ankle. I'm going to now put my forehead, I already turned it, but I put my forehead back onto the hands so that my neck is in a centered position to do this positional release. So imagine someone has your left foot, the heel of your foot, the ball of your left foot. They're holding onto it, and they're just going to give you a little pull. So if you can see, hopefully, I'm imagining that, and then I'm stretching from the hip all the way down to the big toe on that left foot. We're resetting our hips. bringing them back into balance. So doing that energized extension, but then relax that stretching. It's like the person let go of your foot. The ankle is still crossed over the right. Just take a couple breaths here. So we did a lot of moving when we were upright. We moved things around. Now the bones are it's just a little bit easier to reset them when things have been relaxed, when the muscles have been warmed. Just let your left foot drop off the right. I'm going to bring my attention to the front of the left hip and just notice if it's a little closer to the floor than the right. And I definitely feel like mine is. So then I'm going to bring the legs closer together, take the right ankle, cross it over the left ankle. So you're just crossing at your ankles. Here comes that wonderful friend. And they've got a hold of your right foot, the heel and the ball, and they're just giving you a little pull. Just trying to drop that right hip a little bit more for you. Deep breath in. And then exhale, keeping the ankles crossed. Let go. It's like, again, the friend, just let go of your foot. Now that right hip can drop down. And then when you're ready, just flop the right foot right off the left, bringing your attention now to the front of the right hip, front of the left. Placing the hands beneath our shoulders, we're going to do that last little push of the marble. So I'm going to deeply tuck my chin and then press the marble forward with the tip of the nose to look forward, peel away from the ground, coming into table. And now I'm going to do a little stretch for our hands. You might have done this with me in class. It's called the Big Ben clock. So I look down at my hands. They're widely spread. The shoulders are reaching towards the waist. I'm going to look over at my right hand and turn the fingers out to about 3 o'clock. Like you're looking at a clock. Fingers are turned out to 3 o'clock. And then the left hand turns out to about 9 o'clock. And then I'm going to look back at my right hand, maybe turn to 4 o'clock. Left hand, maybe 8 o'clock. And this starts to bring some attention into the wrists and the forearms. And then maybe, on that right hand, 5 or 6 o'clock. Left hand, maybe 6 or 5 o'clock. And then draw the shoulders towards the waist. And take a deep breath. And just feel whatever you feel here in the wrist. You could lessen the stretch by just drifting your shoulders a bit forward. You can increase it by bringing your shoulders back just an inch or two, maybe a few circles around the hand. And then turning your hands forward, taking your finger pads to the floor because that takes the pressure off the wrist. Now, I'm going to invite you, if your toes aren't tucked, to tuck your toes, and we're going to do non-traditional cat and cow. So let your tailbone reach up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. The belly releases towards the floor. Slide your shoulders back and then lift your chin. Extend your vision upward. Inhale. And then exhale. Draw the tailbone towards your navel, chin to chest. And then several more. Inhale, lifting the tail, looking up. Exhale, rounding into the spine. This version of cat and cow helps to release tension from the wrist by putting your weight into the finger pads, but it's also a little bit more focused into the middle and upper back here as we round. And now we'll go back into neutral. Now lay the hand flat, really separate the hands, untuck your toes, and do the traditional cat and cow. So the tailbone extends up, shoulders move back, chin lifts, extend your vision. Push into all pads of fingers, knees, shins, tops of feet, rounding the spine. Inhale, lift, extend. Exhale, round and curl. Putting a little bit of energy into it here. Finding that rhythmic pace, breath and motion. And then return into neutral. Let's drop down into one hip. Take the legs out in front of us, hands beside us, and just give your legs a big shake. Looks like my camera's shaking. Good, and then release that. It is about that time, so we're going to take our yoga block. And we're going to scoot to the front of our mat. Taking the block, place it in between the inner upper legs. Squeeze the block between your legs. Bring your hands around the block. Drop the shoulders if you would. And if you can get your entire foot planted, that makes it just a little bit easier to roll down. But if that's not available, just flex your feet, dig your heels into the floor, okay? Inhale, lift your heart, deep breath. And then on our exhale, we're going to begin to round the spine. I'm going to let go of the back of the legs in the block. I'm going to keep my hands sweeping the side of the legs, exhaling all the way down. Super slow. And then walking the feet towards the hips. And then I'm going to take the heels of my hands here and just do a little rocking of the pelvic, just rocking fore and aft. And then let yourself come into neutral, whereas you can feel the lower back pressing. The tailbone isn't necessarily turning up, it's just neutral. Then just release your arms out to the side. Keep your head relaxed. We're going into our final moments here of letting go into our bodies. So I pause here because I want you to feel the connection with your spine, the whole back of your body. And then from here, I'm going to invite you to take your block, place it on your belly, and let your legs extend out towards the outer corners of the mat. And then extend the arms off to the sides. And like always, I do recommend wrapping the arms around your chest. I don't want to hug too tightly because I got my microphone there, but hold on to your shoulders or shoulder blades. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, lift the head, shoulders a few inches off the floor. Not too high off the floor, but just enough so you can get this motion happening. Shoulder blade to shoulder blade, rocking from side to side. Up and down the upper back a few times. Using the floor to do the last bit of realignment here, and then release all the way down. Please let your arms stay where they are, but relax your hands. Just take a few moments to feel your arms draped into you. Holding you in such a loving way. I always say this is BFF Asana, best friend forever. That is you. We can offer ourselves so much self-care, so much self-love. I feel the warmth, it feels so good. The comfort, the familiarity of myself. And then from there, your arms begin to slide off the trunk. Very slowly, the elbows touch down like anchor points, and we unfurl the arms, the hands, the fingers, until our whole body is now resting on the floor, feeling the support. So what I do is I take my mind's awareness and I just travel up and down the back of the body. I feel the weight of my head on the floor like it's in a little nest. I notice that there's space underneath my neck. The shoulders are relaxed and pressing down. Notice there's lots of space now between my shoulders, like I can really feel that distance. Walking up and down the spine, noticing areas that are connected, and that natural space that happens right around that lower back. These are our natural curves, the natural form of the body when we're in rest. Notice the back of the shoulders, the arms, the elbows, the lower arms, the wrists. Notice your hands and fingers and just notice how graceful they are, how the fingers just naturally recoil towards the palm of the hand. Notice if there might be a little air quality in the palms of your hands. Notice your wrists and forearms and inner crease of the elbows, all relaxed. And then notice your gluteal muscles. Just see if they can relax just a little more. The back of your thighs, those muscles softened. Space behind the knees. calves heavy, broadened, and weighted down. Notice your ankles, like if you could just take your eye gaze right to them and just go into a circular awareness around your ankles. Notice the front of the ankle, top of your foot, toes, underneath your foot, your ball of foot, the arch, the heel of the foot. And as our hips have hopefully let go some more, hopefully the toes are just letting go towards the shoulders, the outer line of the body. Being aware that your body is taking care of itself. Your body is being breathed. We're going to begin to slowly move our bodies. So I'm going to start at the head and just let the head, without lifting the shoulders, just go from left to right, side to side, without lifting the shoulders. Just checking in with the neck. Sorry if you hear my dogs and her water. It's a good thing about dogs. They don't care, right? They'll do whatever they need to do whenever they need to do it. I love it. I strive to be more like her. And then come to the center, lift your hands and just roll the hands around the wrist, breathing both directions. And then let's take care of our ankles one last time. We gave a lot of love to the ankles, but we can never have enough of these ankle circles. So keeping your heels on the feet on the floor, stretch through your toes, reach your toes all the way towards the front of your mat. Just make big circles and then go the other direction. And then if you have the block on your abdomen, you might just pitch it off to the side. Bend your knees, bring your soles of feet flat, nice and wide. I'm going to use my hands here out to the side and just let the knees windshield wiper from one side to the other. Super slow, feeling the sacrum, tail. Lean the knees over toward one side for a breath or two. And then up and over to the other side for a breath or two. Coming back to the center, let's lift our feet off the floor, bring our hands to our knees like we often do at the end. Let your knees splay apart really wide and just rock your whole back against the floor. And then maybe some circles. And then the other way. And then I'm going to extend one arm out to the side, and I'm just going to roll all the way onto that side. Head coming to land on the inner arm like it's a pillow. Top hand pressing to the floor to stabilize you. And then I always say that there's an art in coming up off the side or even off the back. So to me, the best way is here, is right on the side. And I'm just going to stretch the top leg out. I'm not going to lift the leg. I'm just going to slide it out, tracing with the great toe. Going to feel that nice stretch of the front of the hip there. Push down into the floor. I'm going to look down so that my neck is relaxed. I'm going to take the other hand and push all the way up. And then come to any seated position. I'm going to bring the right hand here and the left hand to the heart, closing down the eyes, coming home to the self, to the body, to the energies that live within the self. And Taking in a couple breaths. Feel the exhale again, relaxing you, the shoulders, the belly. And let's bring our hands into Anjali Mudra, press the hands together. Today I'm going to welcome you to do Om Pranayama. So Om Pranayama is it's working with the breath, with the Om. We do 3 of them, one for body, one for mind, and one for spirit. So it looks like this. I inhale here, up above the head, and then all the way down, and then we gather more energy into our hearts. Deep breath in, extending the arms above your head, looking at your thumbs. And one more time. This is for our everlasting spirit. Deep breath in and up overhead. Bringing the hands to your beautiful hearts. Taking this moment to just feel your breath again, your heart, your aliveness, your presence, your focus, which has been so beautiful to be a part of. Bowing your head to your heart to honor it, beating for you every day, this beautiful heart. Namaste, Jai Bhagwan, Satnam, and Aho. Thank you so much. So I'm going to come closer and turn the music off. And let's see here. Ask to unmute. So I'm going to ask you to unmute. Okay, there we go. That should be good. Yes. Hello out there. These are so funny, right? These little pom-poms.
Hi. Yeah.
I know, right? Pretty good.
It's a look.
They work, you know?
Yep.
All right, so how do we do? Love to hear from anybody before I give you the prompts.
It was so good. I love how you like when we're moving our feet, we're like moving our hips. Like it's really great. Like it just seems like we do like such simple things of moving our ankles and then our knee and our hip. It just feels so good. And it's like with ease. Oh, oops, sorry. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know
I
if we
can't.
always
I'd love to-
think of... Go ahead.
There's so many things I want to jot down during class.
Perfect,
I
because that's
can't.
where we're going. I don't want to keep you from that too much because I want it to be fresh in your memory. But that's awesome because I was just going to say, you know, we might not think about like moving all of these joints every single day. And I think that, you know, that practice, it can just go a long way. You know, you can keep it with you every day. And of course, you can't do all of it, but hey there. But, you know, some of it maybe, you know, like I was saying, I do that series on the chair. Remember that I did that on the chair with chair yoga for those who were there. So you can be sitting in a chair and do that as well. So, yeah, thank you, Linda. Anybody else want to share anything before we go into the prompts?
Can I share?
I
Yes,
had some.
Madame, with her Kripalu cup. How beautiful is she with her red? I love it.
It's extremely Christmassy here. Like
Oh
just
my God, that's so.
Oh.
Oh my God,
That's
So-
fantastic.
love it.
Yeah, so it's really yeah, it's really sweet. Yeah, I didn't get to see the whole class. I got to experience a little bit because my dad just got home, which we're very happy about. My dad was just in the hospital and he's home and doing so much better. but it's just so beautiful. I had you like there the whole time, and it's just so beautiful to see you teach and to, really just watch, like, be present to what a beautiful and good and wonderful teacher you are. I just really appreciate, respect, and admire you. So, yeah.
All right. Ditto.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah. That you're all so, you all know it, but you're all so lucky and fortunate to be here with this beautiful being.
Aw. Thank you, Miss Sherry.
You're welcome.
I saw you doing some of it though. You did some.
I started, and then they walked in the door and Scout went crazy.
Oh
And
gosh.
then I had to take care of some stuff here and
Yeah.
do a little bit of cooking, and you were all in my kitchen the whole time while I was taking care of my my parents and everything. So,
Well,
yeah.
thank you for all your help. Appreciate it and your loving words. I love you.
You're welcome. Love you too.
Yeah. Mwah. Mm. Okay, well, unless anyone else wants to share, we're going to go ahead and go into the prompts. You can, of course, if you haven't, you can just pop it out. Like if you have anything that you want to say or share, I love that because, it really, I tell people that in the classes, at Kripalu and everywhere I teach is like when we share what's happening for us, chances are there's someone that feels very similar or will resonate with that, or it could open up something new for them. So please don't hesitate, or you can even put anything in the chat too. So the first prompt is, can you describe in words how you feel in your body right now, this moment? Yeah. Can you describe in words how you feel in your body right now? And I added these little things. I said feelings, intuitive nudges, sensations, vibrations, temperature change, quality of the mind, memories, things like that. Which not everything is always available, right? In the moment, like sometimes it could pop up later, right? Which is why I think it's a good thing to keep your journal around the day of that you practice, so that maybe in an hour or two or later on, or the way you sleep or something, maybe something will emerge later in the day. Is anybody ready for the next one? Give me a thumbs up. What is that sound? Terrible sound. Yeah, maybe we'll all mute. How about that? Mute all. Okay. Can you still hear me? Okay. What were three exercises or movements that you would love to recall and then practice? There could be more than three things, but I think it's better to do small, you know, just start small. Maybe there's five, there could be five, but three to begin. Like my go-to, like I love all, like Linda, what you were saying, I love all that ankle stuff and the hip, and then I love that practice. That's something for me that I do a lot, especially when it's not so cold. I do it outside. I do it in the grass while my dog is doing her little thing. I make it work, because I don't always do it in the Kripalu classes. When I do the warm-up series, I do it. It just depends. Because some people, to be honest, like I can tell they're like, what is this? Like it's not your standard warriors. But I try to encourage people, even though it might seem odd, to give it a try. So if you got that down, the question is, do you feel awake and warmed up right now? I mean, maybe we're cooling down at this juncture, right? But like, do you feel like the practice woke you up a bit and warmed you up? and to couple that with how does this feel as you are in the nowness of your present experience. Like I feel more comfortable in my body. That's how I feel like it worked. I don't feel the vibrations anymore, but I just feel overall just better, more improved. That's how I would express that. But you might feel something completely different than that, and that's fine. Yes. I asked to unmute. Okay. Let's see. I'm asking to unmute.
Got it.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay, so I'm yawning a lot. So I feel maybe tired, but I just keep yawning and I feel like I want to cry. I was kind of wondering what that song was that you switched off. Maybe you can share it at some point.
Which are you
Yeah,
talking about? Because you
because I
had
want a
written it.
really good cry.
Oh, wow. I love that. I love that. You know, we are emotional beings, and you've heard this before. The issues are in our tissues, right? So are emotions. And one of my dearest friends, Janice, I've been her friend. We've been friends for a long, long, long time. I remember back in the day when she started doing yoga, because I was already well into it. And she called me up and she go, "Why am I?" She's very country. She's like, "Why am I crying?" And I said, "Because you have feelings, and when we start to move the body that way, you know, sometimes if I'm in pain, I will start to cry. Sometimes I feel like, you know, I'm working a lot of that stuff out. But yeah, that's very common. And we moved a lot of energy. So, you know, I love all the warriors and all those linear movements. But when we start to really move, you know, then it's like a whole other world of access to what we feel, because we do have feelings inside of there. You know, I always tell people we're not just this physical thing doing these mechanical movements. We are a spirit, and all of these movements tap and tune into different aspects of ourselves. I had one person tell me one time that, you know, something happened when I did an adjustment for her shoulders. This was many years ago. She started to bawl, and she said she remembered being pulled by that shoulder when she was a little girl, like someone, you know, one of her family members just like dragged her. And so she had this recall of this memory, which I thought was just amazing, really. But, you know, she had to, and then she had to kind of go through it and feel it and then let it go. Yeah, thank you for that. You look good. How are you feeling now? Are you okay? You're back on mute. Hold on. There you are.
Oh yeah, I feel really good. It's like I'm just looking forward to like a movie that you can just cry. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like yeah, that's what I put in the chat. I have only attended one of your classes, I think, at Kripalu, but this yoga is different. Like it's not the typical. It's just so it's like it's just so I can't explain it. I guess I don't really have words for it and I'm just babbling, but
You're not babbling. Thank
it
you.
just
That
It's
moves you.
connected.
It's like
You're
makes
more
sense.
connected, I think, in the
yeah,
personal. Yeah, definitely.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, we're really in our bodies. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah,
Right?
so I'm really
Exactly.
appreciating this. Yeah.
Aw, thank you. That's so
Yeah, thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to people, they'll come up to me after a class and they'll go, "That was the most different yoga class." And it isn't like, "Oh, I'm so great." It's just that I have put together all of the things, because I've been doing yoga, I'm 51, since I was like 22, you know? And so all of that experience and all these different modalities and teachers and things that have worked for me, I can't do just one thing. Although in Kundalini Day, we are going to do just Kundalini. But, you know, everything else to me is like this piece worked, that teacher from that teacher. I love that movement. Like that first yoga teacher I had, I mean, he was, thank you, Kirsty. Thank you, hun. Take care. See you next time. Yeah, is it time? Oh my God, we have 10 minutes. Okay, good. I was like, am I late? But yeah, he was a martial artist. And so a lot of those movements were from him. You know, he was so fluid. I was like, that's what got me into yoga was him. And so I did training with him and I did a lot with him. And then, you know, my back went out at 29 and I couldn't walk. And so I had to rehabilitate myself. So it started to change how I approached my body and yoga, and coming from competitive bodybuilder, you know, really elite, crazy athlete, you know, I had to start humbling myself But those movements, I remembered that they really did help me to warm and prepare for asanas, you know? So he would do that for like 20 to 25 minutes sometimes, and a lot harder than that, like a lot of it. And we'd all be sweating, and then we'd get into the postures, and your body was just so much more available to them. So I thought that was really, I thought that was great. And I've saved these movements for all those years, but I blended them with other ones too. Let's see. The last thing is, I don't know if you've done this yet, but can you make 3, I call them HAs, health appointments right now? Like, could you, and then I put, will you? And if you don't want to, you don't have to, of course, but could you go into your little phone, into your little schedule, right? And add through, like, look at your week ahead and just see. I mean, if you put them in there, of course, it all can be changed, but to see if you could fit 3 health appointments in this week. It could be 10 minutes, you know, doesn't have to be long. And then if they're in there, then you might see them, you know, you might forget about it and go, oh, I have a health appointment at 3 p.m. And maybe if something came up that day, maybe you could reschedule it to a different time that day, like if you're not sure right now. So just to have them in there solidly. And that sums up that. So that's, you know, a lot to work with, and you know, you can add to, you know, later on if more things arise. Beautiful. Good job, Mary. I love that. I was standing at the front desk, whatever day that was, and Mary came right up beside me. And you were so cute. I love what you said. She said she has this big TV and that she put me on her big TV. And I was like, oh my God. So she could see so much more, you know, of like, she said her shoulder was a little elevated. She could adjust it like that. So I love this. You know, I didn't always love Zoom, but I love it for how it can bring us together this way. And, you know, big TVs are great for this. So great. Oh, do you have a big TV too? Was I on that big TV, Linda? I think I made a joke. I was like, I made it to the big time.
Yeah. Yeah,
On
and I
the
like
big.
the new rug. I love the rug, and it's the first time I put Zoom on the big TV. It's great. It's like you're right here. You're all right here. But you're,
That is so
not,
cool.
yeah, it's wonderful.
That's really cool. Really nice. Oh, Mr. Scouty Wouts. Look at this baby. He is so adorable. Look at you, Mr. Scouts. Sherry got him in Costa Rica, so he's a Tika dog, and he's now in the winter. Look at him, he's frozen. He's like, Mom, this is not the usual climate that I'm used to.
I have a few things I'd like to share.
Yes, Madame, thank you.
When at the very beginning, you said that we might have some thoughts or feelings that come up. So I did take a moment to write down a few things while we were practicing. And one of them was that I am grateful to be with you today, and in a lot of grateful things in my life, but this was a really wonderful thing to do today. So thank you.
It is so much of a joy that you're here with us, and I really appreciate your connecting with us on our private Facebook group. I really appreciate all of that. So thank you,
Thank you.
Julian, for
Yeah,
your
I think
presence. Yeah.
one of the benefits of having this group is for us to share. So I encourage other people to put their thoughts down there too, and we can support each other.
Yeah. And that Facebook group isn't going anywhere. So it can be for the long haul, you know. I know that we're all busy. I'm not, you know, I understand that, you know, sometimes you just don't want to be on social media. You know, it's not the greatest thing, but then it can be helpful in certain ways, you know, like as we are sharing through this experience, it can again help, you know, someone Let's see. Someone left a, I found it and put in a request. Linda, you did? Oh my God. Linda and I have been going through it, trying to get her on the Facebook group. Oh
Oh,
my God. Linda, that's so awesome to hear.
oh, good.
Wow. Wow. You know, in speaking to Julianne, what you were saying, you know, I had this thought. I had this dance class yesterday at Kripal. It was the last class before the holiday break. It was yoga dance. And it was a small class. I have to say it was a strange class. It was a strange energy. I felt like a lot of resistance to a lot of it. And then at the end, this one woman, I had people on the ground and she just like popped up and started to do all this stuff, which was beautiful. But I said, we're going to get there. We're getting there. Don't worry. And she said something about that. She says, I'm sorry. She says, I just don't have the patience. And I found that I was very much resisting just laying down and doing the vibrational sounds and then moving, you know, from there. And I thought, that is amazing, you know, to know when, because I said, you know, because I don't have that resistance. I'm just giving the form that I know. But that resistance is there for us to learn about ourselves, you know, to learn about you know, what part, you know, it's like, I know that sometimes, like I said, when I do the ankle thing and that people think it's weird. I can feel, you know, they're like, that's a little bit weird, and that's okay. But that, I don't think it is. You know, I think it's really, really cool and everything that you can do all these circular movements and release all of those lower body joints. But I was, you know, going to put that in the prompts today that, you know, to notice where resistance comes up, you know, when you're doing to be honest, anything, but this practice. So you realize like, oh, maybe there's resistance in doing this because it hurts, you know, and there's like something going on in that shoulder. So there could be that kind of resistance. And that's, to me, those are our best teachers. You know, what I resist, what I notice, like what's uncomfortable for me to do, that's like a good teacher for me. I don't know if that resonates with anybody.
Well, one thing that you said that really resonated with me that I wrote down is that it's more important to feel than to see. And I like that. Like you have us close our eyes, you know, and feel how what we've just done has affected us. And
Mm-hmm.
I like
Yeah,
that.
beautiful.
And the other thing was, you know, we did a lot of figure eights with our bodies, which I really like the ones, you know, when we were swinging our arms around. And, you know, the figure eight is the infinity symbol. And I thought to myself, isn't it interesting how good it feels to make figure eights with different parts of the body and how that's part of the infinity, you know, concept.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's natural for us. That's the way the energy moves through the central spine. You see the, you know, the staff with the snake indicating the Kundalini energy. So
Mm.
that's what that is. We're just opening. Sometimes when I get done with that series, I feel so much energy surging through the body. It's absolutely amazing. And then I feel balanced after that. Yeah,
You have to exercise both parts of both sides of the body, you know, crossing over. Yeah,
yes,
good for the
yes.
brain and the body.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Thanks.
absolutely. Mary, thank you so much. I'll see you at Kripalu, hun. Thank you. See you next time. Yay. So we've come right to 2 p.m. Perfect timing. I just want to thank each of you for, you know, coming and being together, and the recording will be available if you want to see it again, if you want to use it further. And then next week, I believe is our ball work. Am I right? I think it is. So does everybody have a physio ball?
Yes, I'm excited to try that. I've never done it before.
Julianne, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. Thank you, Miss
How
Sherry.
how like stiff should the ball be?
I'm so
I
glad
keep
you
pumping
asked
it
that.
up.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to show you this one. This one is one of my favorite. You can see I can push it like that. So I actually use a couple different densities. I might have a firmer one for certain exercises, and I might have a softer one. But I would recommend on the soft side versus the harder side. I would recommend that because your body's soft. The only thing hard on our body are our bones, right? So the tissues are very soft and they will let go a lot easier if you're not around, because we're going to be one with our ball. So we want to feel totally connected. I like mine. I mean, this one is about a 55 centimeter. It could be blown up to a 65 centimeter, but that would be a little bit tall for a taller person. If you can see, I can sit on the ball perfectly. My feet are grounded, and we're going to do, you know, things like this and just a lot of movement with the ball supporting us. So it's nice to have the pump, you know, it comes with that pump.
Yeah.
Nice to have
What
that.
angle are your knees like coming out of your hips?
So perfectly right angle. You see that?
Yeah. So I
Pretty
need to
much
go
perfect. Because
higher.
if I'm
tall.
up here, then that's not good. If I'm down here, that's
Yep.
no good. I want to, it's almost like just sitting in a chair. So then I have the foundation like I would, you know, this is almost like being in a chair, like a chair yoga, but it has so many more health benefits. So, you know, you want to feel like your feet can stay flat on the floor, that they're going to hold you. And then we might even do things like lifting the feet and things like that. We're going to do a lot of fun things. So I always used to say that the prana ball that I call it a ball of prana. It's ball of prana, right? Air is going to make me famous because it's so, I cannot wait till you feel how good you feel afterwards. It's just going to be beautiful. I'll tell more about how that came into my life later. But yeah, I mean, I think softer is a little bit easier for the body.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Yay.
Merry
Take care.
Christmas.